Thank you. Thank you. It's not very often we get to have a nuclear engineer on stage, but José Muñoz is unique in many ways. He got into the car business because he grew tired of missing the trains of Madrid every night when he was working endlessly in the nuclear lab, like we all have. Simply, Jose who was not a car guy, needed a car. His future wife worked at the local dealership and sold him a car and a career in the business. One car led to a dealership, which led to a trip through the European auto industry. Talk about missing your train and catching an opportunity. Jose eventually rose to Chief Performance Officer for Nissan and the Chairman of Nissan China before taking his current role at Hyundai Motor Company, where he serves as Global Chief Operating Officer and President and CEO of Hyundai North America and Hyundai Motor America. I'll be doing a fireside chat with Jose after his own presentation, but please join me first in welcoming Jose Muñoz.
Good morning, everybody. So I've been waiting for this meeting for 2 years, literally, but it was worth it. Thank you to NADA, Michael Regan, and then Jason for having me today. So I thought that before the fire chat, let's get into a little bit Hyundai and Genesis, so where we are, right? So I'm going to take you through a few elements, and I'm going to try to be fast so that you don't get bored with the comments. So Hyundai, especially for those who don't know it so well, we started very humbly back in 1986 with just one car, the Excel, that was probably not the best in the market, but it sold more than 400,000 in a year with just one car. Today, we have one of the best portfolios in the industry for both Hyundai and Genesis. And why is that? Because our executive chair, Mr. Chung, who has been in this position for the last year and a half, has transformed the company and the culture. And then he's telling us that our company is no longer one of the followers in the automotive industry and has to take a leap to become a game changer, leading the market with innovative ideas. He's been awarded by Newsweek the Innovator of the Year, and we're going to celebrate together today. So the challenges have put our company to test. And then this direction of becoming an innovator and not being a fast follower was tested when we had to go through COVID. And what I can tell you is that we decided to take the lead on a number of activities. You will remember that during the pandemic, we took a lot of initiatives that I'm going to get you in details in a minute. And then also, we decided that it was a great opportunity for us to do better. So we didn't wait, and we acted upon everything that we could, and the company has been doing quite well since. So let me get you a little bit into the details. So during the pandemic, we, as a South Korean company, took a great example coming from South Korea. South Korea is the country, or one of the countries, who managed this pandemic better. And then we connected with some South Korean companies and understood that testing was critical. So we deployed the first ever test through, and it was a huge success. We stopped counting the tests after we did more than 1 million for free for all Americans who wanted to go through those centers, which we partner with 22 hospitals throughout the nation, which are the hospitals with whom we have a partnership with the Hyundai Hope on Wheels, which is a foundation which is run by our dealer network very, very proudly. So we were very, very proud of this, and I think it's been helping us a lot. So in parallel, we decided to put in place a lot of activities to support our dealers, our customers, our employees, our communities. And as a result, we've been one of the fastest growing brands the last 3 years in a row. So this is 2021. 2021, we gained 0.8 points in retail share, 0.6 in total share, and then I think it was a 23% growth year over year on retail, and it was the best retail ever in the history of the company. By the way, thanks to Randy and his team leading the charge with the sales, Q1 was the best retail Q1 ever as well, although we saw the market getting a little bit softer. Genesis has been really taking off, and then we just celebrated the triple sales last year, and the launch of the first SUVs, the GV80 and the GV70, helping us achieve this. So I would say thank you to all those who are Hyundai dealers and Genesis dealers, because none of these results would have been achieved without your support. So how did we do to lead during this time of crisis, and what did we achieve? I don't get access to the historical data, but I don't think there are so many OEMs who have grown the share profitably over a period of time as much as we did. And then we focus on the customers with the Hyundai Assurance Program. We focus also on the success of the community through the drive-through and other test-through and other activities that we did. But then first and foremost, I would say, or last but not least, we focus on the product. A lot of OEMs changed their plans during the pandemic. We decided not to. So during the pandemic, we got the Elantra launch, and it was named the car of the year. A year ago, we launched the first SUVs for Genesis, the GV70, the GV80. We also localized the Tucson. It was the first SUV produced in the United States. Also, by the way, the Santa Cruz, the first pickup. And then we've launched, as we speak, the first battery EV of the new generation eGMP platform, so-called Ioniq 5, which helped us achieve an all-time record in terms of BEV, which is being highlighted by the press, and getting more than 16% of total sales share in the Q1. So, but this is not all. So we have maintained a plan, the execution of our midterm plan, in order to ensure that the company navigated through this pandemic and beyond to gain a sustainable, profitable growth. We have a target to deliver in the United States by the end of 2025, 1 million both Hyundais and Genesis. And we have shared very clearly our strategic pillars. So the product, the brand, the retail experience, the localization in production, and the preparation for MECA, which is the mobility, electrification, connectivity, and autonomous driving. So product, you've seen it. I think there is no one accolade that we have not achieved in our portfolio. Kudos to our engineering team, our production team, for great design, great quality, great features, which has helped reposition the brands dramatically in the market, which help get into very profitable operations for our dealer network and for ourselves. We're particularly proud on everything which is related to safety, so top safety peak plus being #1 in the industry. This is something we really appreciate. But in brand, we said, hey, we want to be very proud of our design, our products, and everything we're doing. So we decided to be bold. We didn't cut our advertising budget. And then we went all in with a lot of the launches that we did. You can just see some examples with Marvel, with Disney, with Jason Bateman, et cetera, and we will continue. But also in other channels, we decided to pioneer. So we decided to partner with Amazon, and then with the entire support by the dealer network, our dealers are the ones selling through Amazon, because this is not a direct sale to consumer, but it's a marketplace where our marketing department has special activities which we're gonna grow big time in the months to come. So we have seen a fantastic increase in the volume and the traffic in our customers. More importantly, during this time, we decided to continue to focus on our very strategic element of the network, which has to do with the fewer, bigger, better. So Everybody knows that we have about 300 to 400 dealers less than our direct Japanese competitors. But we believe that this is actually a competitive advantage in the new world where we are in. We may need to add one dealer here or there, but we have seen, together with our network, the benefits of this strategy. Basically, we have really great dealers. We give the opportunity to our dealers to continue to grow with our franchise. And then basically only through purchasing some dealers that want to sell, which are always in the market, we are getting more new partners. So I'm very, very proud to tell you that Kerrigan show Hyundai as the second most attractive brand in 2021, only after Toyota, which is a good place to be. So one of the results of this has been with the launch of two specific programs, the so-called Hyundai Accelerate and Genesis Keystone, transforming our dealer partners. Look at one of the examples on the Hyundai side. And then we have also worked, obviously, on the Genesis. I think only 2 weeks ago, we were inaugurating the first standalone Genesis dealer of Lafayette in Louisiana. And on top of that, we've been working on the electrification. I'm not going to repeat all the accolades of the company, but just to give you some numbers, the company is committed to sell 1.7 million by 2026 of electric vehicles. We are going to have, by the end of this year, more than 10 electrified vehicles, and we are launching 12 battery EV exclusive vehicles within the Hyundai portfolio by 2025. So Ioniq has been a super success, and we can only wait for our corporation to send us more of this fantastic vehicle. So making good on our electrification promise is not finished. It's just starting. And then we are planning to have the world premiere this year of the new Ioniq 6. You can see a picture of it. And then this is the year of electrification for Genesis. So we're launching the GV60 as we speak this week here in New York in the Genesis house. We're going to launch a little bit later the G80, the first EV passenger car in our portfolio. And then we are going to produce in America, in our plant in Alabama, our first electric vehicle, the GV70 EV, which is going to be launched a little after we will launch the first hybrid vehicle produced in Alabama as well, the Santa Fe. This is part of a big business commitment that our company has made to this country, and it was announced last year, and it's about investing in the United States $7.4 billion on new projects and new capacity. Of course, this initial investment are part of this, and we're talking about $300 million on investments in the current plan and 200 additional employees, but way more to come very, very soon, and I'm sure you'll be amazed. I want to highlight one thing. In our vision, the vision of Hyundai and Genesis, the electrification comes together with our dealers. Why? Because of three things. We have seen during the pandemic that the consumers want to get product expertise from our dealers. So it's all about flexibility. They want to do some things at home, but some others they want to do at the dealers, and they want to interact with humans. Number two, financing is very, very important as well. And then, of course, when the interest rates are low, we see one dynamic. When the interest rates continue or increase, as we're seeing right now, so we're going to see a different dynamic. And then the third one is that vehicles will always need some kind of maintenance. So they may have crashes or mechanical issues. There is nobody else than our dealer network prepared to cope with that. So we count on our dealers to help us on all this phase. So part of the $7.4 billion that we are talking about is the localization in production. We made significant changes already. So we've sent the Sonata to be produced in Korea. We bring in SUVs, both Tucson, also Santa Fe and Santa Cruz. We bring in electrified vehicles also to America. And I think together with the announcements that we will make soon, is going to get America, without a doubt, the most important market, not only in sales, but also in production outside of Korea for our corporation. But that's not all. We are all in the future of mobility, and then this is a very clear leadership that we get from our executive chair, Mr. Chung. Through implementing smart mobility and contributing to the realization of a sustainable society, we aim to be an innovative mobility company, loved and trusted by customers. And you know that this is not only about cars, this is also about vertical takeoff and landing, this is also about autonomous driving, etc., which the company is doing within the scope of the so-called Progress for Humanity, which is our mission. So we are committed to deliver carbon neutrality within the group, which is a large, much larger than typical OEMs, to get to carbon neutrality by 2045, including all the supply chain and all the activities of the group, which account on a yearly basis for more than 230 billion US dollars. As part of the global road to net zero and 100% electrification, we have embraced the objective by the Biden administration to deliver 50% of battery electric EV by 2030. And then this is something that is aligned with the global objectives of the group. And then that's why, as mentioned, we're launching specific models for both Hyundai and Genesis, 17 EV models by 2030. And this is part of the so-called Strategy 2025, which our President and CEO, Mr. Chung, presented recently in Korea. And it's about Hyundai becoming a smart mobility solution provider. So not only we want to provide the devices, a smart mobility device, but also the services and the hydrogen solution. So I think there is a lot in this strategy. And then some of the steps that our executive chair has taken in order to make it happen are the ones that have led him to get this really honor and recognition by Newsweek as the Innovator of the Year. Look at some of this. So we created a joint venture with Aptiv, so-called Emotional. We took control of Boston Dynamics. We believe the future of electrification and the manufacturing automation requires robotics. Factorial, which is a company working on solid-state batteries. Supernal, or urban air mobility, vertical takeoff and landing with the same technology as we have in our vehicles, which is going to start producing these vehicles starting 2028 in Washington, D.C. And last but not least, the introduction to this market of the fuel cell EV technology for heavy-duty trucks. So, as mentioned, this goes beyond earth transportation and into air transportation. And we believe there is a multiple trillion-dollar business by 2040 in this market, as you can see, worth 1.5 trillion by 2040. And we want to be part of this story. But I would like to end after this kind of business update by saying that the activities that we feel the most proud of in Hyundai are those related to the so-called Hyundai Hope on Wheels and Genesis Gives. These are foundations which are led by our dealers in coordination with us, which have already collected and delivered more than $200 million in the United States through many institutions to fight pediatric cancer and other activities related mainly to kids' development. So I want to thank all our dealers, and I can see Kevin, our chairman, right in front of me, so thank you, Kevin, and maybe Peter is also around from Genesis. And then I'm looking forward to the Q&A session with Jason. So thank you for your attention.